Look at some of the features in Nearpod that can be used as scaffolds for students during instruction. The first is something called Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader is that text-to-speech feature that will help read the screen for our students. And the way that you have to access this for kids is you actually have to turn it on first. It defaults to off. The way to turn it on is to go up here to your profile icon here, little person in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that, and then select Lesson Settings. You'll notice in the middle of the screen here, it says Enable Immersive Reader. Yours is probably toggled off. You want to click to turn it on so the kids can have the text accommodations, including text-to-speech, audio, language translation, and more. So once you've turned that on, your students will be able to access it while they use Nearpod. The next thing you're going to want to do is look at the video annotation tool in Nearpod. Now that is very similar to what people are familiar with in Edpuzzle, where you can take a video and put different place markers in it to ask questions. The way to do that is you can either kind of create your own activity here with a video maybe you found on YouTube. You can search the Nearpod library for a video that you might be looking for. I've already done that. I found this presentation on ChatGPT that I want to take a look at and use with my class. So I'm going to click Edit, and there's a video in here already that I want to take a closer look at. So on slide 11 here, you can see it says video. I'm going to double click on that to open it right up. And now you can see there are 3 different places where multiple choice questions are asked. This question is asking if it's a true or false question. You likely use AI on a daily basis, whether you realize it or not, true or false. Okay, so I want to give kids a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to use this, this feature of video annotation as a scaffold. And the way to do that is to just kind of come right before that question. You find the place in the video where you would think you might want to give the heads up so that kids can look for the information while they watch. I'm going to stick right here around 23 seconds. That's where I remember that content being. I'm going to click Add Activity. Now, there are open-ended questions and multiple choice questions. I just want to provide kids a heads up. So I'm going to choose a multiple choice question and call it a look for. And so when I teach my class, what I look for is, this is actually not a question, but something they should really pay a very close attention to in the next part of the video. Look for ways you use AI in everyday life. Now I'm going to put some answers in here. Okay, I got it. I'm going to make that correct. And I'm also going to say, okay, I'm ready. Now I'm not using these as data for me to kind of assess instruction. I'm really just kind of fulfilling that requirement of an actual question, because you have to have at least 2 answer choices. I suppose I could also just I could select both of them and do like that. I could also make this a wrong answer. I'm not sure what to do. And then if I don't select that one and that's a wrong answer, even if students were to select it, that's okay, because then it would give me the information about if kids understood what the task was, or they didn't, even in the look for. Once I'm ready and I have it all set up, I can click Save. And now that activity is added in there. So when they get to this part and it says look for ways you use AI in everyday life, then they watch this part of the video and they get to this question, true or false, you likely use it on a daily basis. They'll be a little bit more prepared to answer that question. Okay, so now I'm going to click Save, because that's all set. And that's how you might use video annotation as a scaffold for students. The next thing that you can do is you can add audio support to any slide. So for example here, if I want to add audio support to slide 10 here about how does AI work, I could double click on that slide. It'll open up. And I can just click on this audio button right here, click record audio, and I could record directions on it by clicking this record button. On the next slide, you'll watch a video describing what AI is and how it works. As you watch, think about how AI learns and what its capabilities are. Once I've done that, I can click Save. It will upload to the bottom of the slide. I can click Play here to play it. And this is a good scaffold or support for students who might need that audio, might need to hear your voice, might need a little bit of an extra hint or two you can add into the slides, or a tip, or some kind of additional vocal scaffold that you can provide students as they work through the Nearpod. When I'm ready, I can click Save, and that is all done. I can also add audio to the instructions in an activity like this collaborate board. If I double click on that, it'll open up the collaborate board. In the upper left hand corner, you can see add image, audio, or other media. If I click here, it'll ask me, and this is a good place for me, my audio recorder, so I can give directions, or if I want to give additional tips to students, if I wanted to explain what a prompt meant in depth, or if I wanted to make sure they remembered to use a certain strategy, I could do that here with the audio recorder just by clicking the audio record button again and save it when it's done. The last thing that you can do, not the last thing, but another thing that you can do while you record to scaffold students in Nearpod is cancel and get out of this one. Is the actual presentation mode when you are actually in front of students presenting this Nearpod deck. So I'm going to go and get that set up here by just saving and exiting. I'm going to start my live participation because we're going to do it as a class here. Okay, now all set. In the bottom toolbar here, you'll notice that there are some icons. Here's my annotate tool. If I click on my annotate tool, I can now change the color and width, and I can now annotate the actual screen. This would be an excellent scaffold for students as you show them how to, if you're modeling how to mark up text or a slide or a diagram, right? You can actually model it for them right on the screen that they have, the exact screen they're looking at. And then when I'm done, I can click close, it all goes away, and I can continue on my way. So in this video, we kind of looked at immersive reader, video annotation, audio support, and slide annotations as potential scaffolds when using Nearpod.